Hi, my name is Larry Levy and I'm a volunteer with the Lincoln Park Conservancy. Each month we give wildflower walks during the summer in the North Pond Nature Preserve and the Alfred Caldwell Lily Pool. Today we'll be looking at some of the flowers that are blooming in mid-June in the lily pool. Alfred Caldwell designed the lily pool in Lincoln Park in the late 1930s as a refuge for city dwellers, a place to escape from the hustle and bustle of 1938 Chicago. But here in the 21st century, we need a respite, a place to escape as much as they did back in the 1930s. This wouldn't be a lily pool without water lilies, and here are the yellow water lilies called spatterdock or cow lilies. They grow in shallow pools. The leaves sit on the water and the lilies are anywhere from right at the water's edge to up several inches. Fish and wildlife use them for shelter. There's outer leaves called sepals. There usually are 6 of them, and then inside are the petals, the stamen, and the pistil. The Native Americans used them to make flour. They use the starchy roots to eat, and they use the leaves as dye. We call them a shy flower because they don't open much more than you see here. Across the pond is common elderberry. It's a shrub that grows as high as 12 feet tall, and it has a cluster of white flowers. The cluster is called a panicle. They have a strong fragrance. The small fruit will appear in the late summer. It's a dark purple or black berry that's very tasty. People use the elderberry to make jelly, wine, and pies. The elderberry is a virtual smorgasbord for wildlife. Pollinators like bees and flies love it for the pollen. Carpenter bees make nests for the larvae in the stems. Insects use the foliage, roots, and birds eat the fruit, as do squirrels and fox. There are several types of milkweed. This is common milkweed. It has large purple flower clusters. It's quite fragrant. The stem has a milky sap, which is where it gets its name, that's poisonous to many, but is a sole food source for the larvae of monarch butterflies. And the loss of the area in which milkweed grows is a threat to the monarchs. There's a follicle or seed pod that develops in the late summer that contains the seeds, and it also has a floss that the Native Americans used for twine and was used to stuff pillows in World War I. The blue flag irises live at the water's edge. Each stalk has 3 to 5 flowers that are blue and purple with a yellow and white patch in the middle, and the leaves are sword-shaped. The Native Americans used those leaves for twine, and the flower is actually the floral emblem of the province of Quebec. This is foxglove beardtongue. The name is kind of a mouthful. Foxglove or fairy glove is the origin of the name because the flower looks like a finger, and in fact in Latin the name is Penstemon digitalis, or digit. Inside the stamen is a tuft of small hairs, hence the name beardtongue. The Native Americans used it for coughs, colds, and tuberculosis. And the long tubular flower attracts long-tongued bees like honeybees and bumblebees. The pasture rose, or Rosa carolina, is a shrub that grows all over Illinois, as well as the eastern United States. They grow usually 1 to 2 feet tall in all kinds of living conditions. The pink flower has 5 petals and yellow stamens and a yellow flat pistil, and it has a rose fragrance. The fruit that we'll see later in the summer is a bright red rose hip which is very high in vitamin C and makes jelly, or the Hungarian brandy palinka. It is pollinated also by long-tongued bees. Thank you for joining me on this virtual tour of the lily pool and its wildflowers. Join us again next month for tours of the North Pond Nature Preserve and here at the lily pool. Take care.